The president is requesting over $10 billion for a federal hiring surge. This is for the Department of Homeland Security and other federal agencies. So how many new employees would this be? Well, between the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice, we're looking at 6,000 new employees. And you've probably already been hearing about what's going on at the border. There's a lot of illegal crossings, criminal activity, more fentanyl and other drugs that are pouring into this country. The border is simply not secure, and it hasn't been for a long time. Now, for the average person, it might seem like a pretty simple task to build a fence around the border. When I was in the military 25 years ago, I was on the border on the Texas side, Texas-Mexico. I was helping install metal fences. Now, this took about 3 months, and we only managed to do 2 or 3 miles. So this is a very difficult task. Even if you were to build the tallest and strongest wall across the border, the tunneling wouldn't stop. There are large tunnels that connect Mexico to Arizona, to Texas, to New Mexico, and they're funneling in drugs, and human trafficking is occurring through these tunnels. The sections of metal fences that I was helping to install, that was only for cars and trucks that were driving through. A person can easily just climb right over it. What is actually needed is electronic surveillance and drones, and actual humans that can patrol and take action. This whole idea of spending extra money on the border from this president administration, this is kind of a shift. This is a pivot, because previously, if you look last year, they wanted to send less money to the border. So what exactly are we going to get? For this funding, what type of jobs are going to be created? Well, first we have 1,600 new asylum officers. I ran a search the other day. Only one asylum officer popped up on usajobs.gov. It was for a GS-15. This one here is either for New Orleans or Tampa, and you would need significant immigration experience to qualify. But interestingly enough, they're only going to read the first 5 pages of your resume. Next, we're getting 1,400 attorneys. And the good thing about attorney jobs, for the most part, if you look on usajobs.gov, these are open to the public positions. So you do not really have to concern and deal with the special hiring paths that other jobs might require. Next, we have 1,300 new Border Patrol agents. If you run a search right now, you can see that there are sign-on bonuses up to $20,000 for this job. The Department of Homeland Security, they also hold these big virtual hiring events for anybody who's interested in becoming a Border Patrol agent. Now, if you want me to email you directly when it comes to these federal hiring events, I'll do it. All you have to do is sign up to my free newsletter down below. To be a Border Patrol agent, you're also going to have to deal with additional requirements. There's a uniform standards. There's physical fitness expectations. There's also a urinalysis or a drug test. Now, the way that their career progression works, there's a chart on their website. You start out at the GL5 or 7 level, and it's non-competitive promotions until you reach the GS13 level. And it's competitive promotions from GS13 to SES. Border Patrol agents can also qualify for premium pay and cash awards. So as a GS-12, you could be earning $114,000 a year. Next, we have 1,000 new immigration officers. I ran a search and found over 900 open jobs for immigration officers. These were mainly between GS-11 and GS-12s. A lot of these positions, they were for internal hires, meaning that you would have to already belong to the agency or competitive service. Now, I only found about 400 of them that were completely open to the public. Next, we have 375 new immigration judges and the staff to support them, which would be folks in the 0300 job series, probably even the 0900 job series, to help support that administrative function that they would need. Now, keep in mind, the White House, they requested $4 billion a few months ago. That wasn't approved. Congress didn't really take any action on that. And what we have to realize is currently we don't have a Speaker of the House. Ever since McCarthy was ousted as the Speaker, there's no Speaker. So a lot of the legislation that's going through Congress right now is at a standstill. It's frozen. It's also important to realize that this money is only a small component when it comes to the actual funding that's being requested. The funding is over $100 billion. And we're talking about $61 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, and $4 billion for security around the Pacific. So a lot of people are looking at this as they're giving a small chunk to border security to appease some of the Congress members in order to get this foreign aid package sent off. They want the money overseas and they want it quickly. So is this where our spending priorities should be? You are a US citizen that pays taxes. So why don't you tell me down below? When I was on the border about 25 years ago, at night, some of the soldiers, we would pull security guard duty, and we would essentially patrol around our perimeter. We'd carry a big stick and a radio. And if we saw something happening on the border, we would radio up, and that would be communicated to Border Patrol. And there were times they would send helicopters with these giant spotlights, and we could see individuals that were kind of like hanging out around the border or maybe trying to attempt a crossing. So it seemed at that time Border Patrol was a little bit more proactive, or they had the authority and ability to act in a quick manner. I do not get that impression today. If you look at the news, you look at social media, you do not see the same thing. There's not that urgency to really secure and provide protection across our border. All right, if you're still looking for a federal government job, you might be interested to know that Congress is talking about dropping some of the educational requirements when it comes to getting a government job, specifically the 2210 job series when it comes to cybersecurity and IT specialist. So they don't want individuals to be favored more simply because you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, and they want to put more emphasis on the skills that you actually have. If you want to know about that, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.